Welcome back. I know it's been a while, it's been a minute, but I am back doing astrology content. So I want to say thank you all for being patient, and for everybody that is newer here, welcome to the channel. And if you're newer to my channel and you have no idea who I am at all, I run a tarot channel as well called Austin's Tarot. So you can follow me over there as well. But there's a lot to talk about here this week. There's a lot going on astrologically. There's so much to talk about. Let's just go ahead and dive in. Before we even touch on this week specifically, let's talk about what just happened, right? We just had this new moon in Virgo. Now we will have a lunar eclipse in Pisces with this first lunation cycle in Virgo, and then we'll have a partial solar eclipse in Virgo. So there'll be two new moons here in Virgo. We'll have a lunar eclipse and then we'll have a partial solar eclipse. So we are in the thick of it, in the depths of it, when it comes to change, specifically deep inner restructuring, personal life restructuring, spiritual restructuring, because the South Node, remember, it's in Virgo right now. That's why we're having eclipses, right? Because the nodes are involved. The South Node is the depths. The South Node drills into the past. It's interesting too, though. I want to say something about this. That of course we always hear about the South Node. It is about letting go of things, but also too at the same time, by letting go of things, we can actually rediscover things, because the South Node deals with the past, and you can actually discover things from the past that could be quite useful. But a lot of this energy, though, is about letting go and shedding and getting rid of things. And it's about breaking free. I posted a post on my Instagram. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll try to put the link here on the screen somewhere. But I posted just a quick post, and this is about, because this first new moon that we had in Virgo squared Uranus and Gemini. And I said this is like a jolt waking you up here to break free from your old reality. And this is the prep work that we're in. So this is deep prep to gear us up for change going into the rest of the year, and then going into next year, because remember, we're going to come into Pisces season. We're also going to have eclipses. So, and really when we get to next year, the springtime, that's when everything is going to bloom. And I sense, we may revisit this video and come back to this video, but I sense this is where it actually really starts. This South Node in Virgo, this is about clearing out, making space, letting things reset that need to be reset. Maybe also too, because the sun's in the South Node, maybe connecting back to some old things here. It's very interesting because sometimes I see Virgo, if you think about Virgo, specifically the sun in Virgo, it's the Eight of Pentacles in the tarot. And the Eight of Pentacles deals with mastery and developing your skills. So this could be you two reconnecting to old things and refining your skills and finding better ways to do things. And just finding better ways to do things in general in your life. Because there's a bigger picture unfolding here with this lunar eclipse in Pisces, because this lunar eclipse in Pisces will trine Jupiter. And you have to remember that Jupiter likes Pisces. Pisces is a ruler of Jupiter. It's one of its rulers. And so there's this bigger magical picture that will be unfolding, and that will be picking up on as we progress through this lunation cycle, but it'll come to its peak, of course, when we have that lunar eclipse in Pisces. But, there is a bigger magical picture unfolding, but it is about us needing to yield to the divine's magic and let go of trying to control every little detail of things. I say doing with the South Node in Virgo, because the South Node in Virgo will have you doing shit and you're like, why am I doing this? Am I just doing this because this is routine and this is habit? And so this is about breaking free from old habits, old routines, old ways of doing things, and letting go of the old reality that you've sort of been operating in. But it's going to progress. It's not going to happen quickly. It's like the sun's got to transit all of Virgo season. And so there's probably going to be frustrations. There's going to be things that you're going to be working out. But two new moons here. The first one was at 0 degrees, squared Uranus and Gemini. So it's the shock and disruption of things. And then we have another one at 29 degrees. Both are potent degrees in astrology. And this one will be in the 29 degree, the second one will be at 29 degrees. It'll be a partial solar eclipse. So this that's sort of where we're at right now. And as we go into the week, this is a big week. Give me one moment. As we go into the week, or the time frame that I'm covering here, Venus comes into Leo on the 25th. Venus is going to trine Saturn retrograde. Venus is going to trine Neptune retrograde. Venus is going to sextile Uranus. Venus is going to oppose Pluto. And then we're going to have Uranus make its exact sextile to Neptune this week. Now, the Uranus sextile Neptune has been going on, but it's at its most potent right now. And I see this Uranus sextile Neptune retrograde as fine. Like, this is the time with Uranus being in Gemini to use your mind and inventively think differently. Whatever you're curious about, whatever new ideas you have, whatever new inventions that you would like to create, you have to allow yourself to experiment with Uranus being in Gemini. Because this sextile to Neptune retrograde, the way I see this is in a way us finding new ways, becoming inventive, experimenting, so we can sort of break free from an old identity with Neptune being in Aries and reorient toward a higher spiritual ideal of what we want our life and our sense of self and just our self in general to be. And so that Uranus sextile Neptune is happening. And then we're also, this is the sleeper day. Stick around for the 30th. August 30th, we're going to have Mercury that's going to biquintile Saturn, the Sun that's going to biquintile Pluto retrograde, and Mercury that's going to also biquintile Neptune. And this day, why I say it's a sleeper, because the moon will be in Sag this day, and the moon is going to be making some badass aspects this day. And then the biquintiles that we got with the Sun and Mercury, this is offering you a unique insight and allowing for you to see and understand something unique. So pay attention on this day. This is actually a fun day on the 30th. On the 31st, we have this first quarter moon in Sagittarius, so we're halfway there to that lunar eclipse in Pisces. And then we got Mercury trining Chiron. And then September 1st, we're going to have Saturn that leaves Aries and retrogrades back into Pisces. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts and let's talk about it, because there's a lot to cover here. All right, let me pull this up, y'all. All right, here we go. Switch this over, yeah. All right, let's do it. So here we have it. Let me actually back this up because I was already ahead. Let's go. Oh, I was already there. Okay, yeah. Let's actually see. I actually kind of want to do it this way. Put this moon in Libra. Okay, here we have it. All right, so August 25th, Monday. We got this moon here in Libra, but also here we have it as well. Venus is in, well, it's still in Cancer here. Hold on, let me go a little bit forward. There we go. We got this Venus now in Leo here. So on the 25th, Venus will come into Leo. This is a very cool day, I think. Very interesting day. A lot going on in regards to relationships. Probably there's going to be a lot going on in relationships. Why? Because Venus is the planet that deals with the relationships, but also we got this moon in Libra. The ruling planet of Libra is Venus. So there's a lot in regards to relationships. This moon will come into Libra. It's also going to sextile this Venus in Leo. But Venus being in Leo is all about creating and radiating from the heart space. Leo deals with fun. Leo deals with creativity. Leo also deals with romance. And you throw in that moon in Libra, there's a lot going on romantically, or there could be a lot that goes on romantically. So if you're single, don't be afraid to mingle. And if you're already connected in partnerships, well, this could be a day of spontaneity, because also there's going to be aspects to Uranus, which we'll talk about here in a second. But Venus in Leo, it's time to have fun and connect from the heart in regards to relationships. Also, Venus has a lot to do with self-worth, self-esteem. This is about refining that inner courage, that inner happiness, and being able to express from your heart, create from your heart, radiate from the heart, to enjoy yourself, to have fun. And this moon here in Libra is going to sextile that Venus here. But this is interesting too, because when the moon comes into Libra, this moon in Libra is also going to oppose Saturn and Neptune at the same time that are retrograde. Now, Venus also this day is going to be trining Saturn. So before we talk about the moon transits, this Venus trine Saturn, Saturn is a planet that deals with structure and it deals with endurance. And so it deals with a lot of other things. But since Saturn is retrograde here, this is more so about finding better systems in which you can create and connect. So creating when it comes to anything that you're creating, whether it's art, beauty, projects, things with work, career, could even be getting your finances in order here with Venus trine Saturn. But since Saturn is retrograde, this is more so about finding better systems. And one of the things here, like my notes when I was doing this, when I was going through it all, is that because also Venus is going to be making aspects to Neptune retrograde is being activated here, because it's also conjunct Saturn. Like, this is about letting go of performance, specifically with that fucking sun in Virgo, and coming from a place of presence. Right now, presence speaks way louder than performance. It's like, of course you want to perform, like, of course, like we all want to do great, but it's also about presence. You know, the way I kind of see this as, or something that's come to my mind, ever, like when you're reading a script, right, but your heart wants to come through and express differently. Like, this is the time for you to express authentically, create authentically, and create from a place of presence. But also, it's a good day as well with this Venus that's going to be trining Saturn. Could be good for restructuring things in relationships. Could be with money as well. Could even just you getting yourself right. You finding that fun, that boldness again, that creativity again, that expression again, and starting to redefine the structures that maybe have limited you before, but finding better structures this time that helps you be able to accomplish and create and receive what you want. Because there's a lot of creativity with this Neptune being here. Now, it's not exact, it'll be exact tomorrow, but it's already picking up on that Neptune energy. And so Neptune deals with your visions. Of course, it's the planet of the ideal and dreams, your imagination. With it being in Aries, it's about your sense of self. But Neptune is retrograde, so this is about, also, yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second, but this is about spiritually reorienting yourself toward a higher ideal and letting go of sort of the old versions of things, the old version of yourself. So this could be more introvertedly felt, but it's still good energy here, specifically in regards to relationships, planning things in regards to relationships, setting up things, structuring things, really solidifying things with Saturn. Venus is also, as soon as it comes into Leo, it's going to start hitting that Uranus and Gemini. And so there's the fun and the excitement, right? Uranus is the Fool card in tarot. Uranus is that planet, it's the spontaneous urge to go beyond what you've done before and to experiment or try something new. And so be curious to explore new things, to express in new ways, to connect in new ways, to socialize in new ways, to romantically evolve in new ways. Because you got this moon here in Libra that's also very supportive when it comes to the relationship stuff. And it is going to be sextiling Venus here in Leo. So good, positive, cooperative energy in regards to relationship, finding the harmony and the balance. But then it is that opposition to Saturn and Neptune. And the one thing that could block things is possibly your own ego or other people throwing up blocks. But there is ways to connect and there is ways of cooperation. It's just whether or not you let that. This could be you or other people, right? And I'm going to touch base on a couple things here, but not letting your own ego block you from connection and creating. But if other people are throwing up those blocks, then there's nothing you can really do about it. Maybe it's coming from a place of ego, maybe it's not. This could manifest in many different ways. Y'all know me in regards to my tarot readings. I hit base on everything because I know everybody's in different scenarios. But you know, this could be throwing up boundaries as well in regards to relationships. That moon in Libra, Saturn, right? Because Saturn does bring restriction and boundaries. So maybe you have to redefine boundaries, or maybe other people have boundaries. You have to respect those boundaries, and so you just have to feel out. You'll be able to know. You'll be able to know when it comes to your situation. Now, also this moon is going to be trining Pluto, and it's also going to be trining Uranus at the same time. So I kind of see this opposition as kind of weak to that Saturn-Neptune energy. Kind of weak because there's all this supportive energy. So yeah, blocks can get in the way, confusion can maybe get in the way, but there's all these other ways in which you can find a way through it. The only thing that could block things is your own self, or maybe just other people just throwing up blocks. But there's all these other ways in which you can create and connect and socialize. This is a very interesting, this wouldn't be, don't be surprised. Like, this is a very social kind of energy. So this will probably be a very social day. Probably unexpected things, but in a good way. Because the moon trine Pluto, Pluto's very intense. And every time I see a moon trine Pluto, it's very deep concentration and focus and wanting to emotionally pour your energy and commit to things. So, as an intuitive, this could be like relationships kind of going through some type of glow up or transformation, whether it's the relationship to yourself and the things that you're doing. It could be also with other people, or it could just be one or the other. So that's what we got here this day, this grand air trine. Remember, air energy is very social. It's very enlivening, invigorating, stimulating. It's pleasant. All right, so let's go to the next day here. I think that's the 25th. This is an interesting way. Just wait till we get to the 30th. All right, the 26th here. I feel like I may be bleeding. I think I cut myself shaving. So I think I'm fine. Anyways. All right, the 26th. August 26th, Tuesday. This Venus is opposing Pluto now. Now, this Venus is opposing Pluto kind of on Monday. I mean, it's starting to activate that Pluto, but it does directly oppose Pluto this day. The way I see this, Venus in Leo is you wanting to express and create and connect from your heart that brings you happiness, that is individually tailored to your own sense of self. But that opposition to Pluto this day, and it could be on the previous day too. Aquarius deals with groups and the collective, and you got to be you, and you have to sort of be unapologetically you. You don't have to be rude or arrogant, right, or prideful or anything like that. But if there's pressure, right? Because I see this as like peer pressure or just pressure with Pluto, or like power struggles, things dealing with power. If things are taking your power away, it's okay to disconnect from those things with it being there, with Pluto being Aquarius. But also too, this could swing to the other side here, to where there is, you can't just be all about yourself, right? I mean, you kind of have to think about the larger whole of things with Pluto being in Aquarius. But you have to be able to weigh that out and make your decision yourself here, specifically with the moon being in Libra, and also this moon will be with Mars here this day. So you have to sort of find that balance with things, but you have to be who you are, but also at the same time, you have to also be open to the larger whole and the understanding of things. This is deep transformations going on in regards to, again, relationships, but also the relationship with yourself, because there's new ways to do things. This Venus that's going to be sextiling Uranus this day, and also Venus is trining Neptune. So we have a Venus in Leo trining Neptune, and Venus is sextiling Uranus, and then there's that opposition. So this is just what comes to mind, to my mind, and the way I'm picking this up. Again, there's always different sides here, but I really do think this is about you tuning into what you want, how you want to express yourself, how you want to connect, how you want to create, how you want to have fun, and allowing yourself to do new things. Venus here sextiling Uranus and Gemini. Remember, Uranus is experimentation, it's innovation, it wants to bring in change. And Gemini deals with ideas. It can be conversation, socializing. Gemini also deals with curiosity. And so this is about experimenting, trying new things. You can let go of the old ways of things. Things have changed, is what I hear. Like, things have changed. But by doing that, you can be met with the opposition of Pluto and Aquarius, for other people don't like that. And so that's where you have to take into consideration, okay, well, am I doing something wrong here? If you're just being yourself, but other people want you to conform and be one way, then it's like, no, you need to disconnect from that energy. But also too, but it could be the other side too. Maybe you're all about yourself too, and you have to take in the larger collective and wholes of things, right? So just be aware of that. This moon will still be here in Libra this day, and this moon will conjunct Mars. So you want to watch your reactivity this day here. You know, moon conjunct Mars can be impulsively acting, being emotionally triggered, or you can be emotionally driven. It's just about being conscious of your emotions and not letting your emotions take full control over your actions. You want to keep that peace, and you want to keep that balance with Libra, right? You want to move forward with diplomacy intact. That's also Libra. Move forward with diplomacy intact, fairness, balance. Watch out for the reactions and the possible ways you can throw things off balance. Because also this moon is going to gear up as well, and it's going to square Jupiter in Cancer. And so this can be emotional exaggerations or overindulgence, or I don't know why this comes through, but feeling like you're not getting what it is emotionally. This could go many different ways, right? Because we're all different, and we all can respond to this differently, or this can play out differently for us. But every time I see a moon square Jupiter, it's either over exaggeration, maybe wanting too much of something emotionally. So balance is definitely needed here. But there is a lot of positive energy with the transits, though it's, maybe wanting too much of a good thing, and maybe there's nothing really wrong with that, but also maybe it's important not to take things to the extreme. Because this Jupiter in Cancer is going to want to expand things emotionally and nurture things and connect emotionally. But Moon in Libra likes to weigh things out. We got to keep the balance with things. So it's about finding that balance. I kind of see this as, have you ever been somewhere? Have you ever noticed, like, when you see a kid get like super overly excited? Like, that's kind of the energy that I get with this. Anyways, but this moon also to this day is going to, wow, what happened here? Okay, yeah. This moon also this day is going to, at the same time, pretty much at the same time, it's going to sextile Mercury. So moon sextile Mercury, good day for conversations, good day to have a speech, to speak, to communicate. Speak, communicate, act on your ideas, intuitively move forward with your ideas. You have to remember the moon deals with your emotions and Mercury deals with your intellect and your reasoning, right? So, and also communication too. So it's a good day for your mind and your emotions to be on the same page when it comes to communicating, feeling in sync. But that square to Jupiter is so funny because I get this energy of this. I don't know. This is just what I'm seeing. And y'all know I channel, right? So this is just like this kind of some over emotional kind of excitement, because you have to remember that Venus is sextiling that Uranus here, and it's also Venus making that trine to Neptune, and there's that vision, dreamy element, and because Neptune is the planet of the ideal, and so it's like your imagination could be running wild, So anyways, very interesting day. Let's go to the 27th. All right, here we have it, the 27th here. Venus is opposing Pluto this day. We still got this Venus opposed Pluto. Venus is finishing that trine to Neptune. Venus is finishing that sextile to Uranus. And so we still got that Venus opposition to Pluto. And this moon is going to be opposing Chiron this day. So this could bring up power struggles, specifically because that moon's in Libra in regards to relationships. And trying to find that emotional peace and harmony and that fairness and that diplomacy and that tact, and just trying to stay in that emotional rhythm of balance. But that opposition to Chiron being here in Aries, Chiron is the wounded healer. So it deals with wounds that need to be healed. And Aries does deal with your sense of self. You can even say your ego, your sense of self. Aries also deals with strength, bravery, courage, and specifically because, remember, the dispositor or the ruling planet of this, where the moon is in Libra, is Venus. Like, this is a lot in regards to relationships or how you relate to things. And again, with that opposition to Pluto and Aquarius, also Aquarius is very much deals with other people. And because there's that opposition to Chiron, this could be your ego, and this could be other people's egos, unhealed egos, causing problems. I'm just being real, y'all, right? Like, we all got our shit. We can all act one way. Sometimes it's our own ego. Sometimes it's other people's egos. And the ones that are, and the people that say, I don't have an ego, or I never have to worry about having an ego, I'll never have an ego. Those are the people that have the biggest fucking egos, right? So this is about not allowing like other people to project onto you like their own emotional hurts or their pain, or trying to put you in a box here with this Venus opposition to Pluto. And also too, this is a time for where you can find peace with this moon in Libra when it comes to yourself, and also where you can make peace with others too. But if people don't want to make peace with you, or if people are just trying to control you or put you in a box, then those are the people that you need to disconnect from. And it's like, yeah, you want to be emotionally fair and balanced and taking people's opinions and considerations, but at the end of the day, if it's totally taking away from your sense of self and it's not allowing for you to be who you are, then you want to disconnect from that energy here. And also too, this can manifest like specifically when it just comes to you, where maybe you taking maybe your mind or what your imagination is conjuring up is weighing too much out in regards to, well, what is that person going to think, or what is that person going to feel, or how is that person going to judge me, or what their opinion is going to be about me. So you have to be your own judge here with this moon being in Libra. Libra is the judge. And there is a need to be fair and balanced, but at the same time, fairness and balance can be two different things. Maybe it's being more fair in a way in which you need to honor yourself, or it's being fair in a way which is also honoring other people. So you have to just weigh that out yourself, and you'll be able to know. So that's what we got on the 27th. Let's go to the 28th. All right, here we have it. The moon will be in Scorpio this day on the 28th. And then, when this moon comes into Scorpio, this is going to be an interesting day. The 27th, 28th, kind of days to Wednesday and Thursday. It's kind of a weird spot in the week, in my opinion, because everything starts off good, and then it's kind of all this kind of weird energy that comes in, because the moon will come into Scorpio here, and that moon, when it comes into Scorpio, is going to square Pluto, then it's going to square Venus in Leo. So the moon in Scorpio is already emotionally intense, right? And it's very passionate and wants to connect to its desires. And that square to Pluto here, the way I've been noticing this transit and how I've noticed it with other people is there can feel like a lack of connection, or other people not understanding you, or other people not wanting to connect with you, or you just feeling a lack of connection to things. And so this can bring up frustration, anger. So you want to watch your anger, you want to watch your frustrations here with this moon in Scorpio, square Pluto and Aquarius. Remember, Aquarius does deal with groups and the collective and people. So this could be, things dealing with other people here, specifically because that moon is also going to be squaring Venus, and Venus does deal with relationships and people, but also Venus is also the relationship that you have with yourself. And one thing that could be coming up here is that moon in Scorpio wants to connect deeply to its desires and wants to find that passion. And the way it does that, it's going to want to receive, and the way you receive is through Venus. But because there's that square to Venus, it's like you possibly feeling you're not receiving what it is that you want that would make you happy. So I would be aware of this day specifically because of the Pluto element, power struggles, manipulation, jealousy, envy. You need to watch out for that stuff when it comes to yourself, but also other people. Just keeping it real, y'all. Just keeping it real. And if this doesn't deal with other people and it's just with inside yourself, where is it with inside yourself? What is it that you deeply desire, that you want, that you don't feel fully connected to? And don't let that challenge or that anger or that frustration knock you off your emotional rhythm. Find a way in which you can create those things and start connecting to those things. Because later on in the day, this moon will sextile this sun in Virgo. And so there is a practical solution to these things, and being able to manage, these frustrations and find how you can make the adjustments with things. Right? Because anytime the moon sextile the sun, it's a harmonious aspect. So it's going to allow for your soul and your emotions and your mind to get on the same page and to find that rhythm, to find that good rhythm here of like how you need to adjust things so you can find that emotional comfort. So that's what we got on the 28th. Let's go to the 29th. Oh, 1 second here. On the 28th, this is the exact day, my bad. This is the exact day of this Uranus sextile Neptune retrograde. So this has been going on for a while, but it's just more potent and exact now. So the way I've been seeing this transit with specifically Neptune and Aries being retrograde, it's showing you the disillusionment of your projections of what you thought. And it's not even in a bad way, but what it's showing you is there needs to be adjustments. And this is about, specifically with Neptune retrograde being on Saturn retrograde in Aries, this is about letting go of the false self and letting go of your ego's control. This illusion of control and ambition, and what I'm trying to say is be ambitious, right? I have a lot of fire in my chart. I got Aries in my chart. I'm all about the ambition, but it's the disillusionment of your own ego's control. And so this is about like letting go of that stuff, if that makes sense. This Neptune retrograde, like the Uranus sextile Neptune retrograde here, Uranus is encouraging you here to try new things, experiment, move forward with ideas, experiment with ideas, follow your curiosity. And whenever that happens and you experiment, Neptune then comes in. And since Neptune is retrograde, it's going to show you like, oh, I can recreate myself in a different way here. And not only that, it's going to give you a better spiritual vision here of your true, real, higher self, if that makes sense. And so these could be intuitive inner visions that you're getting that are trying to help you strip away an old identity so that way you can realign yourself to a higher spiritual identity and understand the spiritual purpose of things. That helps you, that comes from a place of spiritual vision, not the ego's way, if that makes sense. I'm not the type of person that says you shouldn't have an ego. At the end of the day, we all have an ego, but it's the shadow side of the ego that I feel like we're all referring to, right? The toxic side of the ego, because your ego is just your sense of self, right? So, yeah. So there's a lot going on when it comes to your kind of old identity kind of being dissolved because you're figuring out, because there's new information, Uranus and Gemini. There's new ideas. There's new ways to invent that'll show you, that there's more to you than you think. Okay, so let's go here to the next day here, the 29th. Now, nothing's really happening this day. We just got moon transits. We got moon trine Jupiter, moon trine the north node, then we have moon square Mercury. So there's going to be a grand water trine here. Jupiter, here goes the moon in Scorpio. This moon in Scorpio is going to trine Jupiter. It's going to trine this north node in Pisces. And so we got this grand water trine forming. Now this moon in Scorpio trine that Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet that deals with positivity, it's growth, it's faith, you can say abundance, but it's growth, it's positivity, it's optimism, it's trust and faith in the divine, and it's trust and faith in good things happening and feeling that positivity. With that moon being in Scorpio, there's that positivity, but also that passion as well. And then that trine to the north node, with that north node, there's going to be an intuitive pull, right? Because the north node pulls you into the future. There's an intuitive pull to help you align here with your spiritual quest, with your spiritual future, with the future that's more in alignment with your ideals, with your visions, with your dreams. That's that north node being in Pisces. North node in Pisces wants to create and establish a better future, one that is in alignment with your ideals, because it's Pisces, your visions and your dreams, and that's more spiritually in alignment, not just this south node being in Virgo of doing. South node being in Virgo, this is the way I've seen it in all my personal readings and reading people's charts, that people are stuck in jobs doing the routine and they don't want to be doing it because it's not in alignment with their spiritual essence. And so everybody in a way is like trying to let go and break free from this old reality of doing, of being on the conveyor belt, of the old, breaking free from the old routines and the old structures of things, and finding that soul fulfilling alignment. Things that have spiritual substance. But this grand water trine is going to bring in the positivity, the encouragement, the passion here, and the pull to help you align here with your with the future, with the future that's more in alignment with your ideals. And that moon will square Mercury later in the day. So, I actually have this in my chart. I have a Mercury in Leo square my moon in Scorpio. And so there's a lot of deep passion and energy, and that Mercury being in Leo, I'm just going to back up for a second. This can bring up frustration because you're going to be feeling something with the moon, but also you're going to be thinking another thing. And it can be hard to communicate or express what you're feeling. And so it can kind of come out very intense. right? Like sometimes when I speak and I talk, I can ramp it up really quick. But sometimes most of the time I'm mellow and chill because I've been learning how to master this energy my whole life. But it can come out very intense. So it's like not being afraid to be intense, but like learning how to communicate your emotions and also learning how to listen to other people's emotions. And so this can bring up a clash in regards to communication, or you with inside yourself. You can be feeling one way but thinking another way. You can be wanting to express something but maybe keeping it private, Moon in Scorpio, or maybe keeping it kind of under wraps. And so it's just about finding a way in which you can express your emotions and understand your emotions, so that way you communicate, understand them, and not be conflicted here. All right, let's go to the 30th, because the 30th there's just something about this day. There's something about the 30th. It's just a unique day. It's not like super unique, but it's a pretty unique day. The sun will be biquintiling Pluto, and then Mercury will be biquintiling Saturn retrograde and Neptune retrograde. Biquintils are going to offer you a specific, unique insight. And with the sun biquintiling Pluto, this is going to help shed light on something that could be deeply transformative, but you have to pay attention. You'll be able to creatively see what it is. And Mercury here also biquintiling Saturn and Neptune. You'll also be able to get a unique understanding and an answer here. Because the Mercury to Saturn is, okay, I have some ideas. I know how to structure these in a creative, unique way. But you have to allow that uniqueness to come out. And then also the biquintile, the Neptune, it's creative, really creative because of Neptune. And it's intuitive, dreamy. And also that sun that's biquintiling Pluto. There's also a unique, transformative thing going on too. And every time I see the Virgo Aquarius energy, this is very service oriented. Now, this is also how we serve ourselves, but also how we serve other people, right? Virgo already deals with service, and so does Aquarius. So when you got the biquintile going on, this could be a day to where you're wanting to really ground and structure your ideas in a new, intuitive, visionary way in regards to work or career or connecting with others or being of service to others, right? So if you have your own business, this could be you doing something creative, restructuring things, doing things differently, offering something differently. Or if you work somewhere, I don't know, maybe this is finding a better way in which you can do your job or something like that. Or if it's just your personal world, finding better ways in which you can help other people, but also, like helping other people with this sun biquintile Pluto. But this is an interesting day because not only do we have that, we have this moon in Sag. And this moon in Sag is going to, this looks like a fun day. This moon in Sag, it's going to come in, it's going to trine Saturn, it's going to trine Neptune, it's going to sextile Pluto, and it's going to be opposing Uranus. So there's the main thing I feel like we'll hit first, so I guess it doesn't matter. It can be in any order, but whenever that moon trine comes into Saturn is a planet that deals with structure and endurance, and the moon deals with our emotional rhythm. So anytime the moon trines Saturn, it gives you a emotional rhythm that can endure, right? So it can bring concentration and focus when it comes to work. And that moon in Sagittarius is already vamped up with positivity, encouragement, optimism, wanting to explore. And you can channel that energy into something constructive with that Saturn being in Aries. Right? You can channel that energy into constructing something, being constructive. And then also that trine to Neptune could be creative as well. And then that sextile to Pluto also brings that deep concentration and focus. And so this can be a very social energy as well because it's also opposing this Uranus and Gemini. So anytime the moon opposes Uranus and Gemini, there's probably going to be some disruption, some unexpected things. But because there's these good aspects going on with Pluto and Uranus, or Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. You'll be able to adjust whatever it is. It could be something exciting as well that kind of disrupts things and brings in something new, or something new kind of happens. But it feels very connective here. Very, yeah, like very connective here. Anytime I see Pluto in Aquarius, it really reminds me of all the AI stuff, specifically with Uranus being in Gemini. So this could be, you may find yourself on ChatGPT a lot this day, or doing stuff with AI, or doing stuff with technology. Or, the Aquarius energy, Gemini energy, Uranus energy can be with other people and socializing and exploring, or being of service. But some excitement here with this Uranus opposed Gemini. You should have to be open and flexible to trying new things. If you're not going to be open and flexible, well, maybe you'll miss out on the excitement. Later this day, and then also we'll have this moon here as well, trine Venus this day. So moon will trine Venus. So that's really good in regards to relationships, and being able to just receive and actually feel the enjoyment and positivity and expansion and optimism and the fun and the play. And if this is relationships, the romance, the playfulness. But when it's just yourself, this could just be you having a good time, enjoying yourself, finding fun things to do, expressing yourself, creating, maybe traveling, going on an adventure, doing something new. This moon will square, though, to that this moon will square that sun kind of at the same time, a little bit after that. So you guys just gotta be aware of being maybe too overly critical, or trying to be a perfectionist. Maybe there's gonna have to be adjustments made here that you're gonna have to do that could be emotionally kind of challenging or frustrating. But don't let it disrupt your emotional rhythm here. It's like it can be adjusted. It's just maybe, challenging. I see Virgo energy as adjustments. It's about the details, like managing things. But this is too, to where maybe we can be too caught up in the details, maybe being too critical, maybe being too picky. Or it could be maybe we kind of do need to be a little bit critical. Maybe we do need to manage something first, or organize something, or figure something out. So it can manifest in two different ways. Right? Astrology isn't black and white. It's pretty gray. All right. Last day here. Wait. Oh, never mind. We got to go to the 31st. It's not. Oh, it's 31st is not the last day. Here we go. We got this first quarter moon happening here in Sagittarius this day. So we're halfway there to that lunar eclipse in Pisces. Halfway there. We're halfway there. And this day we're going to have Mercury that's going to trine Chiron. This moon's going to sextile Mars. And then also the moon's going to square the nodes this day. So let's just talk about this Mercury that's going to be trining Chiron here. This is all about the voice and how you communicate, how you express yourself, how you act on your ideas, move forward with your ideas, and believing in yourself. Mercury and Leos, we believe in ourselves. Even if we're wrong, right? We may not always be right, but we're never wrong. That's Mercury and Leo. Because Mercury and Leo, you want to act confidently, boldly, act from a place of authority, speak from a place of authority, speak from a place of confidence, move forward with your ideas confidently. But that trine to Chiron, even though it's a trine, this is like a good day for healing your voice, or healing your confidence, or the way you think about yourself, the way you communicate. Because Chiron, again, is the wounded healer. And even though it's a trine, Chiron still brings up Chiron energy. And so, but because it's supportive, this is where healing can take place in regards to the Aries energy. And Aries and Leos have a very similar vibe. That's why I love Aries. Because I feel like they get Leos and Leos get Aries. Aries deals with your sense of self, your identity, and Aries deals with strength, independence, deals with courage, bravery. And so that Chiron being in Aries, we've been healing a lot of stuff when it's come to our ego, when it's come to our identity, when it's come to our strength, when it's come to our courage, our bravery. Because Aries wants to go, right? Aries doesn't think, right? I mean, Aries thinks, but Aries is like, no, this is what I want, I'm going for it. It's bold. But Chiron it's almost like a thorn that's stuck in your side. And you're like, all right, hold on, I gotta address this thorn first. I'm gonna go, hold on. But I kind of got this wound. But that's what's being healed here. And so whenever Mercury hits that, again, Mercury deals with your intellect. It's the way you process information, the way you reason, the way you communicate, and also your ideas. So when it comes to speaking, this is a chance here to speak, to communicate, to believe in yourself, to be confident with your ideas. Where's this moon at? Oh yeah, because we'll also have this moon sextile Mars here this day while this is going on. So this moon sextile Mars, Mars does deal with willpower and drive, and it's the ruling planet of Aries. And this moon in Sag deals with positivity, emotional expansion, optimism, adventure, exploring. Sagittarius also deals with believing in yourself as well. So this emotional belief aligning with that Mars in Libra. So the emotional belief syncing with your drive and your willpower to take action on things. And this is where you can really become more bold, speak your mind, communicate, believe in yourself. Right. And do it from a place of diplomacy and tact, right? That's Mars and Libra. It's learning how to be diplomatic and tactful with your actions and understanding the nature and the laws of balance and understand that actions do have consequences and understanding just how to remain peaceful and in that harmonious energy. But there's good aspects here, so you don't have to worry so much about the negative stuff. It's more so doing, like finding, creating peace, finding balance. Later on, this moon is going to square the nodes here, that north node being in Pisces, south node being in Virgo. Remember, the nodes deal with fate and destiny. South node's the past, understanding your relationship to the past. North node's the future, right? Creating a better future. And so that moon square the nodes can bring a pressure. It can bring a pressure, it can make you feel a little bit lost on your path. There's a need to let go of trying to be a perfectionist and needing to know all the little details and to open up with this north node being in Pisces to yielding to the bigger picture, allowing it to unfold. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just like you have to trust the divine flow, trust your intuition and where it's telling you to go, even if you can't see everything in the reality at this time, with that south node being in Virgo. And so you can feel somewhat stuck or pressure. My Jupiter squares my nodes. Anytime there's a square to the nodes, there's a pressure that is extremely put on that fucking planet or whatever it is. Planet point. Whatever planetary body, right? And so you can feel this emotional pressure here. But remember, moon transits last about 2-3 hours. So it's like, it'll pass. Our last day here, the 1st of September, this is the day that Saturn leaves Aries and comes into Pisces. We are back for Saturn and Pisces. So it's going to switch, there's some spiritual lessons here that we're going to have to go back and learn with this Saturn being in Pisces, right? Saturn's the lesson, Pisces is the spiritual. So these spiritual lessons that we're having to go back and learn. And, because Saturn in Aries is about, okay, now it's time to forge an identity. Now's the time to forge your self-determination, your self-reliance, your self-efficacy, and take the lead and build and create and structure things yourself, and get yourself together. But it's come back into Pisces, so it's like, okay, wait, maybe I missed a couple spiritual lessons. So we're kind of going back here to understand these spiritual lessons, become more aware of what we were unaware of, and getting ourselves spiritually right. So that way, when we do come back into Saturn and Aries, we'll have the spiritual strength behind us to forge that strong identity, to forge the initiative to go out and do and build and create. So, yeah, this day though, we got Moon trine Chiron. We got the Moon trining Mercury. And the Moon's going to square Saturn. It's going to square Neptune. So it's going to be this grand fire trine through the day, right? This Moon is Sag, trining Chiron in Aries. And then this Moon also, that's going to be trining Leo, Mercury in Leo. So we got this grand fire trine. Now that Moon trine Chiron in Aries, again, it's the Chiron stuff, but, allowing yourself to be emotionally positive when it comes to like pushing yourself with this Chiron being in Aries. Like push yourself here to take the initiative on things, to be confident, and to believe in yourself with this Moon trine Mercury here. Believe in yourself, believe in your ideas, express yourself, communicate. Because later, this Moon, the last two transits here for the day, it's going to square Saturn, and it's going to square, and the Moon's going to come into Capricorn, it's going to square Neptune. Yeah, this Moon in Capricorn, or this Moon, we haven't had a Moon square Saturn and Pisces in a while. These transits are always weird to me, because for one, when this Moon is Sag squaring Saturn, can bring delays or blocks, challenges, because that Moon in Sag is, okay, you feel confident, you want to express, move out, and move forward, and to express outwardly, but that square to Saturn Pisces is, hold on, this is where there could be restrictions or delays or blocks, but also too, to where you have to more so be intuitive, because Sagittarius deals with wisdom, knowledge, and things that you believe, things that you've learned, right? And so you can move forward with the belief that you know something, but then there's those moments in life that calls forth for, but my intuition says this. But that can be where the challenge comes in, to where, well, I don't know, like I was believing this, or I was thinking this, or I was feeling confident with this, but my intuition is kind of telling me to do it this way, and it can bring just this confusion. And so the way this can manifest externally when it comes to things could be like delays or blockages or restrictions. But when it comes to yourself, it's having to take the time here with that square to Saturn to intuitively reflect and be introspective. Because Sag is extroverted, Pisces is introverted. Sag wants to express outwardly, Pisces wants to reflect introvertedly. So this is where the lesson here is to reflect and be more intuitive and go with the flow, and to deepen your awareness. That's really what Pisces is. It's the deepening of knowledge. It's the deepening of awareness, that there's no limit to awareness. And so Pisces shows us where we're unaware. So we can believe one thing, but get met with resistance because we were unaware of something else. And sometimes with the square, this is confusing. I have to take time to reflect on this. But giving yourself that time, that space to reflect, because you'll get those deeper answers in the stillness and in the silence, Pisces. You get what I'm saying? Do you understand? Then that Moon will come into Capricorn, and that Moon's going to square Neptune in Aries. Moon in Capricorn is at its detriment position. The moon does not like being there. It's very uncomfortable there. Capricorn is very harsh. The moon is very soft. And Capricorn deals with work, structure, routine. And sometimes the moon isn't always filling up to that shit. But it puts the pressure on us in order to really feel good and to find that emotional rhythm that feels good. And it's like having to be disciplined, work within systems, structure things. But that square to Neptune and Aries can be frustrating because Capricorn is discipline. Right? Capricorn's discipline. And I'm not saying Aries ain't disciplined, but it's not the sign that deals with discipline. Capricorn is. Aries is what starts things. Like, all right, let's start the project. Right? And that moon in Capricorn's like, all right, we're starting it, but we're going to finish it. Right? And sometimes, Aries can have shiny object syndrome, right? So it can start things but not finish things. That's the shadow of Aries, right? Start things but not finish things. And so with that Neptune being there, there's this energy of, with moon being in Capricorn, there's work to do, but maybe there's also a challenge in regards to you wanting to do it. So you can bring frustration or anger. But also, I'll be real with you, the way I've experienced this transit personally, and I've noticed this within others when I've been around people, that the need for control with the moon being Capricorn square Neptune and Aries, control could come up, right? Anger and frustration and kind of wanting things to be your way or trying to force things, right? So just be aware of that too. This is about channeling your energy, Neptune and Aries, into structure, right? Discipline. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Moon and Capricorn, you have all this stuff to do. Okay, you got your work. But then when it hits that Neptune and Aries, you start dreaming Neptune or idealizing something else you want to do. But you can't do that thing because you have to do what you're doing right now. And so it brings the frustration. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave that there, y'all. That is what I got here for y'all for the week. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you all for being patient for the videos, and for the ones that are newer, welcome. I'll be posting a lot more on here. I'm not sure what the next video I want to do is. I do want to start doing the weeklies again, but I also want to try some other things too on this channel. Like, again, it's time to experiment. It's like you don't have to keep doing things the same way you've always done it. You can experiment. Some things will stick, some things won't, but you got to try things. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but yeah, I'm going to leave this reading here. I'm wishing you all a great week. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, I encourage you to do so. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And otherwise than that, I'm wishing you the best. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't yet. I'll try to remember to put that link down below in the description, but it's the same. It's Austin Regular, so you can follow me on Instagram. And yeah, I'll be on Instagram a lot more too. And if you're newer and if you didn't know I had an astrology channel, you can follow my astrology channel, Austin's Tarot. So, wishing you all the best this week, and I will see you all in the next video.